spinning wheel has been used as a symbol of time passing. But for Gandhi, it was an act of faith in the self-sufficiency of the Indian people. The act of spinning was to him a meditation of oneness of life, of the interdependence of capital and labor, man and nature. He wanted a social order which would secure the greatest good of all, Sarvodaya. He wanted a simple society in which economic progress and social justice would go together.
Today's India is bothered by two things. One is religious extremism, and the other is yantra nagarikate, that is machine culture. The last couple of 100 years, the world, in the name of science, developed technology. It did not develop science. In fact, the scientific temper has actually taken a back seat. It's the market economy which has taken the front seat. That is controlling our lives.
So after Gandhi's arrival and his presence started coming in the freedom movement, he had understood the spirit behind the khadi, charaka and spinning. So after the agriculture, the weaving had given employment for the lakhs of people in India. And Gandhi found it very, very important.
In this country, in every nook and corner of this country, there are hundreds and thousands of people who are working in one or the other sector of productivity, village productivity. You know, these are constructive programs that are happening, and these are enlightened people from the cities who went and got lost in the villages for the last 2 decades or some of them for 3 decades, and who have built little desi experiments.
Janapada Seva Trust was started in 1960 by Surendra Kavlagi and his wife Girija Kavlagi and his friends. His dream was to settle down in a small village in Karnataka and take up some constructive programs as suggested by Mahatma Gandhi. And he found Melkote very conducive for the kind of activities that he wanted to take up in future. It was a very vibrant village. It was a kind of a real dream village of Mahatma Gandhi, because there are a lot of cottage industries here, starting from weaving to basket industry, blacksmiths were there, oil ghanis were there.
When I decided to shift over to a village, Hegodu, people helped me to buy a piece of land there, and I built a very small house there. Because there was no weaving tradition in the village, we had to set up every process under our own cooperative society, which is named as Charkha. I realized that in most villages in this country, men are scattered in their minds. They're neither here nor there. You know, they chase politics, they chase all sorts of other things. We have taught them to do that. You know. Actually, Charkha is a completely women's cooperative society. There are men work there. It's a small, about 10% of them are men. Otherwise, it's mostly women working in Charkha.
No village is productive now except agriculture. What is happening in rural India? Other than that, animal husbandry, dairy farming, all other industries have gone. No village is productive. About 70–80% of what they consume, that comes from outside. What they produce is about 20–30%. The whole rural India was skill based. We didn't go for technology, you see, drawing water or climbing a tree or plowing. more than the efficiency of the tool in your hand, it was the skill. If you look at the loom, it is very crude tool, isn't it? But it works. It is because of the skill in the hand of the weavers.
You know, there's a Handloom Reservation Act that is in existence in this country since the British times, which reserves certain categories of fabric for handloom production alone. And governments time after time have been trying to remove that law. And that's how, for example, the handloom satyagraha began about 5 years back. So that's when we realized that we had to expand our base and give a call for all organizations working for sustainability to come together.
Rural industries, everyone in the family were part of the production. Even the grandmother in the house, they used to help her son. The housewife used to assist something in putting, sizing the yarn. And the men folk, they used to weave on the loom. So everybody has a sense of participation in the whole production. So as a Gandhian institution, Janapada Seva Trust feels we should continue promoting the khadi activity. And after staying in this village for 40 years, still I don't find any other program than khadi which can really fits into the rural life, and it can create lakhs of employment. So that is why activity like khadi and handloom becomes very, very important. So we should keep on talking to young people who buy khadi. We should tell the story behind it to them. As soon as they buy khadi, they should know that this money goes to an artisan. He is supporting a family staying in a rural area who is leading a very little carbon foot life. He should feel proud for buying this piece of cloth, and he should also thankful to the weaver for doing this for him. That relationship with the weaver and the consumer should continue.
I have learnt it from my village that you have to combine modern thought and traditional hands. You know, this is what they taught me. My 30 years of living in the village has taught me that these are the things which should be brought together and not the other way around.
Jawaharlal Nehru expressed the feelings of hundreds of millions of people in India and abroad. Our beloved leader, Bapu, as we called him, the father of the nation, is no more. The light has gone out, I said, and yet I was wrong. For the light that shone in this country was no ordinary light. 1,000 years later, that light will still be seen in the country, and the world will see it.